On this week's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, we recap the Bucks' regular season finale against Duke City. Plus, with the postseason field set, we take a look at the matchups across the league in the opening round. And now, back from injury, we chat with quarterback Caleb Lewis on preparing for the postseason. It's all coming up on the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, which starts right now. Hello and welcome inside our Beck Studios, everybody. I'm David Sugarman, and this is the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. Before the Bucks even took the field for the regular season finale against Duke City this past Saturday, the good news had already rolled in that Bismarck had secured their first ever spot in the IFL playoffs. However, they were far from content. With a win and an Iowa loss, the Bucks had the potential to host a first-round playoff game. First things first, though, Bismarck had to take care of business in Albuquerque, taking on Duke City for the first time this season. 13 minutes to go in the first quarter. Quarterback Nate Davis, the Ball State product, chirp, chirp. 25 yards to wideout Dello Davis. Gladiators up 7-0 early. Later in the first, Davis and company keeping it rolling. Known for his arm, that's why the pump fake's so effective. 4-yard run, 14-0. Just like that, Bucks in desperate need of some energy. On the ensuing kickoff, DB Zarel Hendrick, here's some energy for you. Making everybody glitch out. Defense and the monitor, 14-6 after the missed extra point. Let's see how the Gladiators would respond. Dello Davis catches in the end zone. A dose of anything you can do, I can do better. 50-plus yard return, and just like that, Duke City back up 2 possessions, 21-6. We fast forward to the second quarter. Caleb Lewis flips it out for wideout Lorenzo West on the end around 5 yards later, plus the 2-point conversion, and the game is just 1 touchdown, 21-14. Later, how about a 5-point sequence for kicker Cody Barber? The field goal plus his first deuce of the year. Gladiators tacked on 3 before the half to make it 30-19. Later, in the third quarter, Isaiah Strayhorn, 5 yards in for the score. And it's just 30-26. In the third quarter, the Davis connection kept it going though. And how about some history? On the 5-yard touchdown, that made Davis the all-time passing leader for a single season with 76 touchdowns this season alone. Hats off to Nate Davis. His team's up 11, and he wasn't done. But let's go back to the Bucks. Later in the third, Lewis for wideout Raheem Harvey. Lewis in his first game back in a homecoming, playing well against his former team. 37-32. And here come the Bucks. Forget your record. Pick 6 for Kendrick Harper, 10 yards back, and the Bucks have their first lead of the night, 38-37. Later in the third, under 30 seconds to go, Davis finds Umari Hampton on an 8-yard score. Gladiators back up 5. Later in the fourth, 50-38 at this point. Bucks in need of a score. Just 3 minutes to go. It's Lewis and Harvey again. 25-yard score. Lead is down to 5. 90 seconds left. Bucks need one more stop. They don't get it. Davis finds Taylor on a 15-yard score. Gladiators pull away with a 57-45 win. The Bucks wrap the regular season 7-8, and they hope to learn from the loss headed into the postseason.
I got to take care of the ball. That was a big turning point in the game, and we just got to keep each other accountable. That all of us made some mistakes in the game, and those are things that we need to eliminate. We got to make plays for each other and just execute.
That was a game we lost. It's in the past, and we just got to direct our attention right now to Mass, who is our first playoff game.
For the past few weeks, every game has felt like a playoff game. So now that we know that we've been in these games before and we seen how they go, we just gotta figure out how to finish it out to make it fall on our side. We started off slow. That's our main thing. We just gotta make sure we get off on the right foot instead of starting off like a turtle. You start like a jackrabbit.
I think it was just a stepping stone. We know it was going to be a tough game, and I think it just get us ready because, I mean, we already know it's going to be some close games, and just being prepared, you know what I'm saying?
Some other scores from around the league makes it that much more disappointing. Iowa did lose against Massachusetts big, 55-19. Sioux Falls clinched a playoff spot with a win over Green Bay, 58-33. Tucson took down Northern Arizona, 56-38. And the top seed in the land, the Arizona Rattlers, took down the Frisco Fighters, 55-38. With that being said, let's take a look at what the opening round of the postseason will look like. Number 1 Arizona taking on number 8, the defending champion Sioux Falls Storm. And then, of course, the Bucks. The 7 seed will take on 2-seeded Massachusetts, 3-seeded Frisco, 6-seeded Spokane, and in the 4-5 spot, Iowa will host Duke City. So with the opening round of the postseason now set, the Bucks will take on the Massachusetts Pirates for the 3rd time this season. And if the Bucks want to keep their season moving, they'll have to take down Massachusetts for the very first time. Back on May 8th, with the season still in its infancy, the Bucks dropped a Week 2 matchup at home, 36-18. More recently, on July 10th, the Bucks traveled to Massachusetts and lost 43-38. They trailed by as many as 16 in the second half, but clawed back and had the ball with a chance to take the lead late. Despite coming up short, the Bucks feel if they can put together 4 quarters, they could put a trip together to the semifinals.
Being a complete team and just playing complete games, I mean, that's kind of been our problem all year. And I feel like now down the stretch, it's more important than ever. So all I got to do is just put a full 6 minutes together, and I feel like we'll be fine coming out of Mass with a W.
They have a really, really solid front 3, really front 4. They're good in the back end, and they're a good team. They're the reason that they're the 2 seed. They've played really well down the stretch, and we're not taking any of that for granted. You know, we're going to prepare we need to play our best.
Time for our first break. When we come back, we'll sit down with Bucks head coach Rod Miller. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Do you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I'm really big man. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the 2nd time today, Brent has jammed the printer. Lowry's 3rd caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back to the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, everybody, with head coach Rod Miller, David Sugarman here. Coach, let's start off on a good note. I know that the game didn't go the way you would have hoped this week, but You secure your first ever spot in the IFL postseason. Considering where this team was last season, really 2 seasons ago, 2-12 in 2019, how much does it mean to break through to the playoffs and make this jump this quickly?
You know, it feels good. You know, when I came here, I had a 3-year plan to try to get the team turned around. Like I said, unfortunately, last season was canceled, so this actually makes our year 2. But, you know, it was a process, a building process. I mean, we still got some building to go. We're still kind of a semi-young team. We started the season off. But, you know, to improve from 2 wins, you know, to 7 wins, opportunity to have a playoff game, had the opportunity to possibly host a playoff game. So I feel that we're going in the right direction. So I'm proud of the direction that we're going. We still got a little more to go, but I'm proud of where we're at right now.
Looking at this game kind of follows a trend where you fall behind early, able to fight back and even take the lead. What was the difference when you guys were able to turn it on?
You know, for some reason, like I said, we just seem to be a late starting team and second half team all season, you know, so we have to get past that, you know. So we're kind of using that as a different mindset going into the playoffs. But, you know, looking at that, you know, I'm glad these guys have a fight, which is good. You want a team to have a fight. We've been in a situation where we've been down, so that's something we haven't seen before. So, like I said, we just need to flip the script and, like I said, put together 4 quarters of football and try to put us in a chance to play 2 more, possibly 3 more games.
Quarterback Kenyatta Allen got the start. Caleb Lewis came in later in the game, though. His first game since July 16th with the shoulder injury. What did you like out of him from his first game back?
You know, he came in there, he stepped in, you know, he took some shots. That's always your main thing, how you're going to hold up against, you know, contact. But he came in, you know, he made some throws. He missed a couple of throws early, but that's just a matter of timing because, you know, when you can practice, but game speed and practice speed are 2 different things. So I felt that he came in and got a little bit of the rush shook off that he needed to get shook off. So we're glad he was able to come back and get that last game in before the playoffs so that way he can try to hit a little more stride going into the playoffs.
With both quarterbacks now healthy, both quarterbacks have played well. How much of a competition is there to start in the playoffs this week?
You know, it's a matter of we're going to play both quarterbacks, and they got to go out and do their things. You know, each quarterback has a little different thing that they can do. We can add to the mix of what we're doing. So I know Coach Ross is putting together a game plan to utilize both of those quarterbacks effectively, and we want to, you know, have them come out, play their best football. You know, if it gets into a situation where one guy is hot, then you're going to ride with that situation. So we're just expecting both of those guys to come out and do their best this weekend.
You played several really tight games on the road. This past week against Duke City, Tucson, Iowa, going down the list. How much of those games, even in losses, help prepare you to go to Massachusetts this week for the opening round?
You know, it gives you, when you're on the road and understanding things that happen, knowing that we can come back in on-the-road situations. So it gives you a little confidence in knowing, you know what, we can play on the road. We just have to go ahead and put together, like I said, all 4 quarters. But, you know, we haven't been in situations that we haven't seen before, being behind, trying to come back, being ahead. So we have to try to put all that together. But from a mental standpoint, knowing that you can play well on the road in spurts, we just got to put it all together for 4 quarters.
Let's dive into this first-round matchup. 2-seeded Massachusetts, 0-2 against them this season. They are maybe the hottest team in the league. They've won 8 in a row. And this is an incredible defense, giving up the least amount of points in the league. In the 2 games that you guys have played them, what stood out about their defense that you'll try to attack and expose?
You know, they're a good team. They're going to fly around. They're going to try to make some things happen. You know, their defensive coordinator, you know, is a former player of mine. He was actually here our first year. So, you know, we know some of the things they kind of do. They're going to be aggressive. You know, we just have to make sure we can come out, utilize, establish the run game, make sure we're throwing the balls to the right spots. We can't just try to force stuff. Take what they give you, you know, drive the football. So those will be our main things we're looking at to do, you know, offensively against their defense.
In both games, on the other side of the ball, wide receiver Thomas Owens has had some really big numbers, 16 catches, 252 yards, and 4 touchdowns. What will you do differently in coverage to try and limit his effectiveness?
You know, we just have to go out and know where he is and know what kind of routes he likes to run and you know, different formations of the field and things he likes to do. You know, you're going to have players like that, you know, they're going to make a good player too. That's what, you know, good players do. We just have to limit the plays that he makes and keep everything and try to make other players make plays. Don't let him make all the plays.
The last time you played Massachusetts was July 10th. How much has the team evolved since then and in what ways?
You know, we've added some more, you know, key pieces. You know, getting Kendrick Harper was big for us in the secondary wise. He's a veteran guy that understands the game, and, you know, getting some guys up front are getting healthy again. So that's big for us. You know, defensively, when we played these guys, you know, we actually had some good stops against those guys a couple of times. You know, the first game of the year, and the second game of the year, excuse me, you know, we didn't have the opportunity to score like we wanted to, but, I mean, we stopped them 6 times defensively. So when you can do something like that, if we can kind of repeat a performance, even get half of that, 3 or 4 stops, they can get us in a position to try to win that game.
Coach, the more playoff games you win, the more chances for people to win. Some code word stuff, a little bit of swag. I know that's maybe not first and foremost in your mind.
No, help the fans.
But what is your the coach's code word for the week?
Our code word is actually a phrase this week. It's second season. You know, that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're preaching. And we're telling our guys, you know, the regular season is done. You know, no matter what you did, good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't make a difference now. The second season where you're at, everybody is 0-0. So that's how we're approaching this. And anybody, like you said, we had this conversation before we went on air, you know, it's a one-game situation. So you know, anybody can win, anybody can lose on any given day. So we got to come out, play our best football, and realize that, hey, it's week to week right now. So if we want to play another week and survive another week, we got to go 1-0 this week.
Second season is the word of the week. The Bucks looking to go 1-0 and looking to punch their ticket to the semifinals. Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck this week.
We're glad to be here, and thank you.
Head coach Rod Miller. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about quarterback Caleb Lewis.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Hey, do you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer. Lowry's third caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
In his first two games with the Bucks, quarterback Caleb Lewis made a quick and good impression on fans, throwing 5 touchdowns and just 1 interception and helping lead the charge in maybe the Bucks' biggest win over the season over then 6-1 Frisco. Of course, all of that made it that much more devastating when in the final 2 minutes of the game against the Fighters, Lewis left with a shoulder injury and was sat out several weeks. Though he returned to the field this week against Duke City, and in his first game back, he came off the bench to throw 2 touchdowns. Not only was it Lewis's first game back in the lineup, it was also his return to Duke City, where he began the season, but not in the role you might expect.
I kicked when I was there, so.
You were the kicker?
Yeah, I kicked. It was just a scenario where they needed somebody to kick, and I stepped up, and I did kickoffs, and then we went for 2 most of the time. But yeah, I was the kicker when I was there, and the backup quarterback, obviously. But yeah, that's the kind of the ironic part of all of it. Is my first actual professional start was as a kicker. So yeah, it was an interesting homecoming though.
After only playing 2 games and being brand new to Bismarck, Lewis admitted his road to getting back on the field was a tough one. He sat out the last 3 games, and his rehab has tested him in more ways than just the physical.
I am proud of myself. I worked my butt off to be able to come back from that type of an injury. I had a shoulder separation on my throwing shoulder, which is tough, obviously, as a quarterback. It's tough. It's something, I'm glad it's getting talked about more and more of especially male athletes' mental health and stuff like that. And that's something that's very, very personal to me. But I'm very grateful to have a bunch of great teammates that were able to elevate me and keep me up through it.
hats off to Caleb for putting in the work. We're happy to see him back on the field and hopefully back on the field for this week's playoff game. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll reveal our Coaches Code winner. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Hey, do you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer. Lowry's third caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center. The Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber. Trusting your digital life to faceless tech giants can be risky. Will they keep your family and business information truly safe from prying eyes? If you subscribe to local Beck Lightband internet service, you already have Beck Cloud Backup. Beck Cloud Backup is the safest, most private cloud storage for all your family memories, schoolwork, and business documents. Call 701-475-2361 to start using your free space on Beck Cloud Backup today.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Before we go, it's time to reveal our Coaches Code Word winner. It is one Mike Martin. Mike, congratulations. You're one of our final Coaches Code Word winners one way or another. We've only got a couple of shows and a couple of contests left, so good on you for getting in there. We'll be getting in touch with you very soon on what your prize is and how to collect it. To be cool like Mike, remember, we only got a couple of shows left. You're going to want to pay attention to our code word. We're going to show that now. It's second season. It's the postseason. It's the second season if you ask head coach Rod Miller. You know the deal at this point. You should. Bismarck Bucks Football on Facebook, at Bismarck Bucks on Twitter, and at Bismarck_Bucks on Instagram. And as long as the Bucks keep going, we are going to keep being here every Wednesday night with Coach, every Wednesday at 6:30. This is when head coach Rod Miller will join us talking all things Bucks. Hopefully this time next week we'll be talking about a trip to the semifinals and a big win over Massachusetts. The Bucks, of course, not the only game around the league this week. Let's take a look at the playoff schedule for the opening round. The Sioux Falls Storm, the defending champions, they barely snuck into the postseason. They are the 8th and final seed, but they could be dangerous against the #1 top-seeded Arizona Rattlers. Then, of course, the Bucks could have hosted a playoff game had they gotten the win against Duke City. Didn't work out that way. They'll take on Massachusetts for the 3rd time this season in the 2-7 matchup. That is this Saturday, 6:05 kickoff. You'll be able to watch that right here on Beck. Again, Saturday, 6:05 kickoff. 2 other matchups as well. The 3-seeded Frisco Fighters and the 6-seeded Spokane Shock, and a very intriguing 4-5 matchup. Iowa, despite losing big in their final game of the season against Massachusetts, 55-19, gets to host a first-round playoff game against the team that the Bucks just lost to, the Duke City Gladiators, 2 of the best and most exciting quarterbacks in the league. Iowa's Daquan Neal, the reigning MVP, and Duke City's Nate Davis, who just broke the record for single-season passing touchdowns this year. That is going to be, maybe after the Bucks game, the most exciting matchup to watch this weekend. With all that being said, that'll do it for this week's show. For our entire Beck News and Beck Sports crew, thanks so much for joining us this week. Remember, it's the Bucks and the Pirates this Saturday at 6:05, the first time in the IFL playoffs. The Bucks trying to stick around and take a trip to the semifinals. Until then, enjoy the game. We'll see you next week.